I am so ready for today's episode.
Yes, me too.
Man. Okay, y'all. I'm bringing back The Strength of a Broken Mother, Part 2. Back in December, we had Tosha on the show. And Tosha's testimony blew my mind. Tosha is a mother. And she is a loving mother. But she come from a broken mother. So when I first got on the phone with Tosha, she told me all these things that occurred in her life. Molestation, abuse, which later on made her be in different abusive relationships. But today, y'all, this one gonna hit a little bit more different. Because today we're gonna talk about her son. And we really don't understand like the mother-son dynamic until you really talk to a mother that have a son, right? So without further ado, I want to reintroduce to some and introduce to the first time watchers, Tosha Dearbone.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, like, man. And on this show, the slogan is where the silence is loud, right? And today is going to show where the silence is loud. And so a lot of times we don't pay attention to how people act and what they've seen to give them a reason to act the way that they're acting. But because the silence was loud from the beginning. So Tosha, without further ado, I would like to introduce you. And I would like for you to give us some backdrop about yourself and about your son.
Okay. So I am, like she said, I come from a broken mother. I've been in abusive relationships. So I started off with being sexually abused at a very young age, which transpired into teenage dating violence and then domestic violence. I was a single mother. I had my first child at 16, so I was a teen mom. I've dealt with many tragic experiences, especially with domestic violence, being with a gun put to my head and being shot, all these things that happened to me as growing up. But with me and my son, it's another dynamic because he didn't witness those things, but he heard about them, and it caused him to go down a cycle of destruction as well.
So Tosha, you say your son didn't see this? He just heard about it.
He just heard about it.
So his dad wasn't abusive to you?
So his dad was abusive to me. His dad is actually the one that was in the car with the females that drove me off of the Beltway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was pregnant with him at the time. So I wonder, how sometimes that can have an impact on them even in the womb.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Kids feel what you feel, period, whether they're in the womb or they sit next to you.
Right.
A lot of times you cannot hide the emotion that's going on.
Right.
And the kids can feel it. Wow. So you left his father, you moved on with your life, but even when you moved on with your life, you dated other men, correct?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
So when you was dating other men, did he see any type of abuse with those men?
So he never saw it.
Okay.
He never saw the abuse. He only heard from what I would say out loud. So he probably didn't say anything or, at that moment. But as he's in prison now, and being in prison, he said some things that kind of make you say, did he hear it or did he see it? But no, as far as my knowledge, he never saw it.
You say he didn't see it, right?
Right.
So you don't ever recall if it was a time like he didn't physically see it, but did he hear about it?
So I really don't think that he ever heard it or seen it. It could be possible, but I'm not for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you first notice his behavior, abusive behavior?
So I want to say about maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
The abuse started to appear. The anger started to come out because he was a well-mannered kid. Like, he didn't get in trouble. He was in sports. He did all the things as a young boy. He's real polite. He has nothing but sisters, so he knew how to treat people, females anyway, for that matter. But I started to see the pattern when him and his girlfriend got into it, and they got into it at my apartment. And I remember him and her arguing, and I remember I sent my daughter in there because I was sick with COVID at the time. So I was in the room and I said, go see what's going on with Chris in there. And she was like, okay. So she went to go see, but the next thing I know, they were arguing and I heard them fighting. So of course at this time I'm getting up to come and see what's going on, and he was irate. When I say irate, I mean irate. He was, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to all of the things. And I was like, what is happening? So he my daughter ended up calling the police on him because they got in a fight. And when they got in the fight, he bust out the front room window, the big window that's in the front room. He bust that out. And that's when I knew something was turning. I knew the cycle was getting ready to start. Just the verbal abuse, him wanting to hit on her, all of the things. And I was just like, this is scary.
So if you can replay that day, what word would you give it?
If I would give it a word, it would be traumatic. Traumatic because I saw not necessarily his dad, I saw the other men that I dated in him.
Oh, okay. And I've said this time and time again, right? Like, I don't care where you place a person in this world. What's in your DNA will eventually show up, whether if you've seen it or not. Right. So even in that, like you say, he never vividly seen a man put his hands on you, right. But his dad put you in a situation when he was in the womb. Yeah. Right. And his dad is the dad you had to stab?
No. That's okay. Yeah, no. Okay, he's the one. No, he's the second to the last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So for the sake of content, how old is your son?
He is 21 now.
Okay. And so this started happening around what, 19?
Yeah, about 18, 19 when it started happening. You would see the anger. So he had a lot of built up anger. And I always thought maybe his anger was coming from not his dad not being in the picture, because he was in and out of his life the whole time. When he was younger, he wasn't around. He came back around when he was like 13 years old, and he would get him, but it would still be like once a year, or he might call him every now and then. So that pattern continued. And then when I started seeing the actual physical behaviors, that's when I knew something was wrong.
Right. So you mentioned that your son is incarcerated. Do you feel like you was losing your son prior to the incarceration?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I did. I saw the patterns. Right. I've heard the abuse because he started being verbally abusive with me, but it wasn't as bad as it was until he got in there. And when he got in there, it really flipped the script.
So once he was incarcerated, that's when you start seeing the verbal abuse more, right?
Absolutely.
Do you believe it was, I know you don't know his feelings, but just as his mom, mothers pretty much know their kids. Mm-hmm. Do you think he was being more aggressive because of his fear of being in there?
So I think it had a little bit to do with that, but I really feel like it was, he has a control issue. So I would hear the control even when he would talk to the girlfriend on the phone. I can hear the control, where you going, who you with, who's over there, like all of those different things that's abuse. Yeah. And I started seeing it and I was like, this is not okay. So when I would say something, I would get cursed out. Oh, wow. I would get the backlash from it because he felt, hey, she's not going nowhere, so I'm going to treat her any kind of way. Yeah. But then when he started seeing me hang up the phone and you calling me from jail, I'm going to still hang up because we're not going to do this. So, yeah, the pattern got worse. Okay. So nowhere in like middle school or high school did you see this? I did not. Wow. I'm a total different person. Wow. Total different person. And I think it has a lot. Well, I ain't going to say I think. I'm just going to, I have a feeling that a lot of it is dealing with, like I say, his father. Then he mentioned to me, hey, why you saying anything? Because you let the men do you like that. You let my daddy do you like that. So when he's saying stuff like that, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Right. Like, where did you get this from? And but I think that it had something to do with him reading my book, because he did read the book that I wrote about the situation with his dad. So he read that book, but he never said anything. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. Because I know when we talked on the phone the first time,
I was just taken back. But then we talked on the phone the other day. And after we got off the phone, and I just started reflecting about sons,
Mm-hmm.
and the importance of being a mother to a son. And, I don't know what it is about me that I love men. Like I just do. I just feel like if we could get them early, we can change the trajectory of the world, period, right? And so even with your son being incarcerated, and I know it probably could be some mixture of things about his father, and probably feeling like abandonment. You know what I'm saying? And so even though you did the best you could as a mother, like I tell people all the time, even in my own family, my mom, she raised my sister 3 boys. But like I used to tell her, and I finally understood, Mama, it don't matter how good you raised them. It's not the same as being with your biological parents, whether that's your mother or your father, right? And so I see that in a lot of kids and definitely in a lot of boys, right? And so since your son been incarcerated, Tosha, like, what has that done to you spiritually though?
At first I was losing my faith.
Okay.
I was like, why me? And then I had to realize, like, yeah, this has a little bit to do with me, but it's not really me. He had a choice.
Right.
And, he made the wrong choice. But even with that being said, it's like, you still worry, you always thinking about, like, is he okay? Because I do men's ministry. So I go into the prisons and, they share things that go on in there, and you watch all these different, TikToks and Instagram, and you're seeing people dying every day in the prisons. And a lot of times it's from the drugs, but a lot of times it's from the guards, it's from the inmates themselves, and it just scares you. So I want to say about 3 months ago, maybe, he told me, Mama, I seen somebody fall from the second floor.
Oh, wow.
And I said, what? He said, yeah, somebody fell from the second floor and they was like just bleeding out. He said, I thought he was dead until he raised his head. So, you think about that, and it's hard to think about, wow, is he okay? Like, is he harming? Every time I talk to him now, because he's able to call now, and I'm like, are you okay? Like, I haven't seen his face since August, so I don't know if he's really telling me the truth. Right. So it's things like that. It's still in the back of my head, but I can tell this time when I talked to him 2 days ago, his mental sounded like he sounded strong.
Okay.
He didn't sound weak. He didn't sound like he was really worried. He did just get denied parole. So, I thought maybe that might affect him too, but he was like, it's okay. He's like, I'm just going to do what I need to do. I got to do my time, and I'm not going to let the time do me. I say, so what are you doing? So he said, I'm reading my Bible. I have books. Okay. And I said, okay, that's different, because it took him to get in there to start to actually, I can say he knew God before he got there, but he really is building that relationship with him now.
Yeah. One thing about God, he'll sit us down and put us in a quiet place to where we can only listen and hear his voice.
Right. And I thank God for it. Amen. Because it could have been worse. It could have been a different way. It's a lot of boys right now, even girls, but boys more say they're dying. Yeah. And they're dying early. They're not waiting till they're in their 20s and 30s and so forth. It's happening right now.
Yes. So definitely happening right now. So Tosha, like, when you talked on the phone with him and he was like, Mama, like, I seen somebody falling from the second floor, and I know in your mind you like, oh my God,
I was like, oh Lord, they thinking all the worst things, like that could have been you,
right?
And then he was like, well, I'm, at that time he was in solitary,
okay,
so he was in solitary, but he also has like one lifer on one side of him and another person on the other side of him that has 3 lives. Ooh. And I remember saying to him, well, my daughter said to him, bro, you need to stay cool because they ain't got nothing to lose.
They ain't got nothing to lose.
And he was like, man, you right.
They don't have nothing to lose. But see, this is the thing, though. He got a praying mama.
Yeah.
Right?
He got a praying mama. Yes. And then on top of it, they were older men. Okay. And they were speaking wisdom to him. Okay. So they wasn't trying to, and I was just like, thank you, God. Yeah. That's all I keep praying about is older men with wisdom and positivity to surround him while he's there.
Right. So when we talked on the phone, you said your son finally apologized to you for using, going off on you and being abusive, verbally abusive towards you. So when he told you that, like, what did it do to your nervous system?
I felt good. I was like, maybe he's getting it, and you want to believe that he really meaning what he's saying, right? So it's like, okay, I need to see action. Yeah. Like, is he going to do it again? But so far, he has not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So with that apology, do you feel like your child was apologizing or the grown man who knew the effects that he had?
The grown man.
Oh, you felt it was the grown man?
I felt it was the grown man. Okay. It was totally different.
Okay.
From if a kid was to tell you, Mom, I'm sorry. Yeah. And they go back and do whatever. Right. But it was totally different. It was like, this is sincere. Like, this is really, he growing up in prison. Like, he growing up in there.
The sad part is sometimes it takes that, you don't want it to have to be that. But one thing about God, he will remove something before he destroy it, right?
Yeah, that's why I say I'm thankful, because I think if he had still been out, he would not understand the impact of being abusive to women and, that cycle. I didn't want it to continue, first of all. Right. That's not why he's in there, but that was before he went. Like, literally, it was real bad. Right. And I was always telling him, like, man, you can't put your hands on females. You can't do this. Mama, leave me alone. You know what you're talking about. No, I know what I'm talking about. Like, these people not playing with family violence, domestic violence. You're gonna put yourself somewhere where you can't get out of. Right. So I was really, trying to get him to understand, because he didn't grow, like I say, he didn't grow up like that. But again, I don't know what he heard. Right. That's true. Wow. I want to go so many directions with this, because like I say, I love men. Like, everybody that know me know, like, friend love men, and I love boys. And so today I seen a little boy at the church, and he gave his life to Christ, but he was crying, right? He's probably between the age of maybe 11 and 13, somewhere like that. And so people was hugging him, including myself, right? But he stood like this the whole time. Wow. Now, one time, did he give love back? He was allowing people to hug him, but he did. He didn't. And I really wonder, like, psychologically, what was that about? Right. I mean, it can mean a whole lot of things. Because you just don't know. Like I said, a lot of boys don't like to talk. They don't share their feelings, especially with females. Right. They don't share too much because they feel like they're going to be judged or it's going to make them weak. So for my son personally, I thought, growing up, he did talk. He shared stuff with us. We talked about everything. So to see him start to turn was scary. Yeah. And just even with that young man, we don't know what he's feeling. Right. We don't know what he's dealt with. We don't know where he's been, because to stand like that, that's really like a scary place. Like, hey, I hear y'all, but... Yeah. I mean, he voluntarily went up, you know, but at the same token, I just was in that moment, I said, Lord, what's the root issue, right? And I was like, wow. And that's the thing, like, and I'm glad you said that boys really don't like to open up to women, because this summer I was trying to start a boys mentorship program, but it never really got off the ground. But I had told myself, I said, well, friend, you really gonna need some men as the forefront of this thing, even though it's your idea, even though it's a nonprofit you want to start, and it showed, and you telling me now, so this is nothing but full circle confirmation, you know? And so the name of the mentorship was called He Speaks, right? Okay. Because I know boys keep so much stuff bottled down inside, and then that's when they start acting out in rage and anger and, terrifying, just being just acting out or whatever. But I'm so grateful to God, like, even when I was growing up, like, young dudes or whatever, you could see it, but I never been a part of it, right? And I remember one time in Houston, Texas, I was dating this dude. I won't mention his name. And once people found out that I was dating him, the first thing they said, you talking to him? He be beating women up. Wow. And I was like, what? And I promise you, to this day, I don't talk to him no more, but while I was dealing with him, that man never put his hands on me. That man was so loving towards me. Wow. So loving. Yeah, and it's a lot of them do that. Like, some of them, they will not treat another person the same way that they treated you. And it may be, sometimes it be they may see their mother in that person, or they may see their father. You never know what's coming across their mind, because they will say that, like, man, you remind me of my mom, or you remind me of, and let's just say the mom wasn't there, or the mom wasn't, he felt abandoned. So of course I'm gonna treat you like how my mama treated me, and they do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Because I can really relate to one of them. My second oldest daughter, her dad. So when I was being abused, there was the first baby mama. She always said, "Oh, he never did that to me."
Really?
Oh, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. Then everybody else behind me, "Oh, he never did this to me." Either he didn't do it to y'all, or y'all just not strong enough to say, "Hey, he did do this to me." And I was like, it doesn't make sense, for him to just single me out of all of them.
You know what though? Wow. No, this is crazy. So I fast every top of the month, the 1st through the 3rd, right? With a prayer group. And the lady that's over the prayer group, she talked about garments. And she said that we wear garments and the enemy can see what garment is on you, right? So if you wear a garment of lust, or a garment of molestation, or a garment of whatever,
come on, you right there.
It's on you.
Yeah.
So even though you saying that they said he never done it to you, the abuse was a garment that was already on your back.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I realized that lately, when I started to, go back and trace the evidence, I remember, because every relationship I get in, I always tell them up front, like, I've dealt with this. I'm very transparent about my life.
Right.
So they know I've dealt with molestation. They know I've dealt with rape. They know I've dealt with teenage dating violence, domestic violence. So why not?
Yeah.
It's already a cycle and a pattern on her. So why not continue the pattern?
Right.
Like, she ain't gonna do nothing. So, and then they knew too, my brothers, they in the picture, but we didn't have that relationship.
Right. No protection.
So they knew, oh, she ain't got no protection. She ain't gonna do nothing.
So let me ask you this, Tosha. So is it safe to say, what is it better to tell people up front, or don't say nothing at all?
So a lot of people say don't say nothing.
Okay.
But I feel like that's the only way you can know somebody, you gotta share. Like, and they might not share everything, but they share some things, and then they looking at your patterns though. They looking at, oh, she's used to these things.
Right. I'm a firm believer. If you get naked with people, they'll get naked with you. Not literally, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe in that.
Yeah.
But then sometimes but this is the thing, you gotta watch some people, because you will and then they won't. They'll give you just a little bit.
Yeah.
And so just us talking about that and talking about the different garments that we done put on our back, right? And not realizing what we done put on our back, and that's why I'm a firm believer too. Like, when I meet men, I never tell a man what I want. Yeah. Never. I want to see what you gonna do without me prompting you to do that, right? So that's a segue into going to this. So on the last episode, you talked about how you was abstinent for 10 years and you met a man. Right. What was it about that man that made you want to give him your yes?
So when I met him, he was, of course, handsome. He was all the things I was thinking that I wanted. Yes. And he was that familiar pattern also, because not so per se when I talk about the abuse, he wasn't that part that I saw, but it was the familiar pattern of, he looked like he, will protect you. He looked like that person. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, let me give it a try. So we started talking, but I'm telling him all the things about me, and he started sharing things about himself, because he off top didn't think that I would want to even talk to him, because he had a background, right? Okay. And this background was something that I am an advocate for. Okay. So being that I'm an advocate for it, he was like, oh, she's not going to talk to me. But when he saw that I was going to talk to him, because I listened to what he went through and why it happened, he was like, oh, okay, she okay then. Yeah. But then we got started talking, started being intimate, started being around each other, and here it is. The pattern started again.
Right. So when you use the word intimate, right, because you were celibate for 10 plus years,
Right.
What does intimacy look like?
So the intimacy was being up under him, just, spending time with him. And then, of course, sex played a part of that.
Okay. So when the sex came, what did that make you feel like? Because you've been walking in this spirit of righteousness by keeping your body pure, right? So what was it about him that made you feel like, I can trust this man with something that I've been holding for so sacred? Hold on, but the reason why I'm asking you that, because I'm at 1 year, right?
Right.
And I just want to understand like the different patterns, right? And so if I can identify, and I know everybody's story is different, like how can I handle it? That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it was a conversation.
Okay.
The conversation, we can talk about anything. Like we were really open with each other.
Right.
But he still, like you say, they don't tell everything.
Right.
So it was still parts of him he wasn't sharing, but I didn't know. So here we is, we're spending time together all the time. So I'm liking him, he liking me, and then it was just like one thing led to another. And then when I opened myself up to that, it was like, what did I do? I felt bad. I felt dirty. I felt like this shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And that was before the verbal abuse and all that came.
Yeah. So in one season, he was the man of your dreams.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. He was the man of my dreams. I was like, okay, I can do this.
Right.
Right.
and I can recall you guys serving the Lord together and all that.
Yep. Went to church together. Thought we was reading together, the whole nine. Right. And then it returned to something else because he wanted to drink. He started had a drinking habit. Every day he had to drink. And I was like, what is happening? This ain't.
Like, I didn't see this.
Yeah, I didn't see this at the beginning.
Right.
Like, what's happening? Right. And then that's the real you was coming out.
Right.
But you waited till you baited me in.
Right.
Because you knew I was looking, not per se, hey, she been 10 years single, ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why not?
Man, I'm telling you, I actually posted 1 year abstinence on my Instagram story.
Mm.
And I started getting DMs and phone calls. And I'm like, Negro, ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because a man wants something that they feel is so pure and innocent at this point, right? Like, oh my God, yes, let me be the first person to conquer whatever it is they feel like they need to conquer. So you start doing life with him, start going to church with him, and you feeling like you about to build a life with this man, right? So what was the turning point?
The turning point was when he told me he should have beat my A like the rest of the men did. That was the turning point. The arguing, the cursing. Oh, you not gonna do this? And nah, who you talking to? Like, we're not gonna do that.
Right.
So it went to that, to me having to literally leave him. We were in the car together, and I left him at a restaurant off of Highway 6.
Stories like that, Lord Jesus.
Left him there, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
Right.
He literally walked from there to my house. I had to be like close to midnight at night, beating on my window, and I'm like, no, But what he said, what scared him the most was my oldest daughter.
And your oldest daughter is the same daughter who told you a long time ago
told me to be by myself.
To be by yourself. Wow.
And she never, I think she started picking it up when because she never would talk to him.
Okay.
Even when he would come around, he always said, man, I don't think she liked me.
Yeah.
And that's because she saw you. Like, she could see you, and I couldn't see you.
Right.
Because I was like, okay, it's 10 years.
Yeah,
wrong idea. But when he told me he should have beat my A like the rest of them did, or I should die in my sleep, that was a wrap.
You know what, Tosha? I'm not going to even say wrong idea, right? Just wrong person.
Wrong person,
You know, because God did not put us on this earth for us to be by ourselves.
Right.
You know? And so even in that, like, when you go and you do certain things and you sit back in it, then you got to ask yourself, including myself, like, okay, so it must still be some residue on me somewhere, right?
I started to believe, like, let me look at me a little bit more.
Okay.
It's maybe something still not healed.
Right.
Maybe it's something else that I need to do in order to because maybe my picker is wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
Like something's wrong with this because if I was continuing to pick the same people, the same patterns, something's got to be off.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
I'm just reflecting because I dealt with somebody for almost 4 years and it was my picker.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted this man so bad. I felt like he was so handsome, so fine, all the exterior stuff, right? Not knowing this man was a walking lunatic.
Wow.
And it took me almost 4 years to get rid of that man.
Wow.
And I would stop talking to that man and then he'll call me and I let him back and I stopped and it was just a cycle, right? And I kept saying, friend, you know better. Why is you doing this? And even in that, I had to realize, like, Francesca, it's some things you got to do. Yeah. And I believe that's probably what sent me on this journey that I've been on, because I kept saying, you can't keep doing this. Even though it was with just this one person, I found myself over and over. And I was like, no, this ain't what God allowed for me to do or designed for me to do. So once he told you he should have whooped your, what, like the other guys. And during that time, did you continue or you just abruptly stopped?
I abruptly stopped. Like, there was no more after that night. I didn't want to talk to him no more, even though he was still trying to call or pop up. And when he would pop up, my daughter would open the door and he'd be like, oh, no, it's okay.
So this particular guy, he started to drink and do all these things. So he said he should have whooped your butt or whatever the case may be. But was he known for doing this to women? Yeah.
So apparently he has this other female that he was talking to at the time. I guess they had broke up when he started talking to me, but I guess didn't really stop talking to her because she actually sent him to jail a couple of times. And I don't know if that was, he said it was because he would just show up to try to get his stuff from over there. But I don't think that's what it was. I really think it's the drinking. And then he kept using his background, saying that was why he would go back to her, because he believed she was the only person that would accept him with that background. Even though he heard me say, hey, I'm okay with it.
Right.
But he said that it was more so like, yeah, she says she's okay with it, but she is an advocate for it. Like, she's not okay with it.
Right.
And she talks to, other people. So what are they going to think about me? And that question would come up a lot.
So he was battling with his own insecurities. And that be the thing too. Like, men have a high level of insecurities. I don't care how they appear to look on the outside. They deal with so much mentally, right? I'm not a man, but I'm on a barbershop, so I talk to enough of them. And so it's hard for them to believe your yes, right? Yeah. It's hard to believe I'm down with you. And like I said, a lot of times you gotta go back to the mother and the son relationship, because a lot of it stems from right there. Whether people want to believe it or not, that's where it comes from. That. So even when I meet men, like, I really want to know how he is with his mama. Yeah. Like, that determines a lot for me. And a lot of people say, well, friend, you can't judge that because he probably didn't have the best mom. I get that in some cases. But when you meet men and they say, I don't do my mama, I don't mess with my mama, you got to ask yourself.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's kind of, like I said, it is a two-way thing on that, because my second oldest, him and his mom have like the best relationship. Like, the best. But it could have been some missed things too, because his mom was incarcerated for a long time.
Okay.
But even when she got out, like, they ride for each other, and they still ride for each other to the point where she's okay with what he does.
So she don't correct him if a woman say, hey,
no correction.
Miss such and such, your son is being verbal or physical abusive to me.
No correction.
Oh, wow.
None at all.
Okay. So speaking of correction, when you start seeing your son be verbally abusive to his girlfriend, what did you tell him?
You know better.
Okay.
Like, I didn't raise you like that. You know what I've been through. So why would you do that to somebody else? You wouldn't want nobody to do that to your sisters. And he's like, no, like, man, she don't really believe what I'm doing. No, I believe what you're doing. Like, don't do that.
Right.
Like, we would have those type of conversations, but it still was going in one ear and out the other until he seen me actually call the police on him.
You called the police on your son,
I did.
Tosha?
I called the police on my son.
Oh, yeah. She for real.
We not doing that.
Right.
Like, I dealt with enough abuse.
Right.
And you're not about to see, I'm not about to sit here and I would be a hypocrite if I did not. No, we're not doing that. So I called on him. Like, no, you're not going to do that. Keep your hands to yourself. And, you know, from that day forward, he never hit her again, but he verbally, every time you turned around, it was verbal abuse. And I was like, this is not okay. This is not healthy. Yeah. And I'm telling him that, but she's not healthy either.
Right.
Like, she comes from a background of toxicity, like a lot of it, even worse. And I'm trying to get him to understand both of y'all are broken. Yeah. Both of y'all need healing. Yeah. And y'all can't do it together. Yeah. Y'all gonna have to find some time apart. So I'm really, like I said, I'm kind of glad he's there because I don't have to worry about that. And my thing is, I hope that he actually understands that while he's there. So when he does come home, it won't be that same thing. Yeah.
It won't be.
Yeah.
It won't be. I believe the fact that you say he's in a cell with two men with wisdom that got life sentence and triple life sentence, right? Yeah. And then for him to see someone fall or hear about someone falling from the second floor. Like, even with my own nephews, honestly, like all three of my nephews are incarcerated right now. Okay. All three of them. And they all by my sister that's on drugs. And my mom had a breakdown. Maybe a week or two ago, because she kept saying, she don't understand. Yeah. Like she keeps saying, I did the best I could with them. Now I raised them. I did, and I keep saying, Mama, it's bigger than you.
Yeah, it's bigger than her.
It's bigger than you.
Yeah, it's bigger than her.
And you know, and just in the bloodline, and that's all I've been praying and asking God, like, God, strip this bloodline of certain things, you know? Yeah. Because even one of my nephews, Tosha, my nephew got shot up, right? He could have died. The only reason why his life was spared because they amputated his leg and did something to the blood vessel. And while he was in the hospital, he kept saying, Annie, I'm going to do right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to preach. I'm going to go to church. All this stuff. And I really believe that boy is called by God, right? But he been fighting it for a long time. Because out of all my sister kids, he would go to school and, you know, try to do the right thing. But the streets kept calling him, right? Yeah. Right now, my nephew is in jail with an amputee leg. And I told him, if you don't get away from that baby mama, because he had got a baby with a baby mama. And I said, that girl is going to cost you either your life or you're going to go right back to jail. That boy's right back in jail. And guess why he right back in jail? Trying to fight a man over her. I said, how you going to fight a man over her and you an amputee? All he got to do is push you down. Yeah. But I don't know what it is that transpired, but whatever the man said that my nephew did to him, it stuck. And my nephew got 5 years. Wow. 5 years. Out of anger. Yeah. You know, and even while he's in prison, like, thank God your son got a mother to support him, right? Yeah. Like, my nephew in prison, now all three of them in prison. Who you think supposed to be putting money on their books?
Right.
Who you think supposed to be accepting their phone calls? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even one of my nephews, I never done this a day in my life. I don't pay for lawyers. Not for something I ain't do. Yeah. Right? I pay for that boy lawyer. I'm going to tell you why. Because I said, Lord, I cannot let them people give my nephew 20 years and he got one leg. He ain't going to survive. Yeah. You know, he got power in his own strength, but he needs your strength during this time. You know? And this just made me reflect, even like the strength of a broken mother. Like, my sister broke, and I know I'm going off a rant. I'm sorry, but it's starting to just touch me a little bit. Like, even like with my sister, it's like, Shell, it's not to the point right now that you don't want to get yourself together so your boys can see if my mama can do it, I can do it. Right. You know, like, Lord knows what they got to do in prison because they don't really have no real family support. You know, and everything still falls on me and my mama. Yeah. You know, and so even like the little boy today at church, man, like, my heart just screamed for boys. My heart screamed for men. Yeah. Because like I say, where the silence is loud is loud. It pours out through anger. It pours out through verbal abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, you know, drug addictions. Like, it go deep, Tosha.
And little do you're saying all that, but that is actually, when I talk to the men in prison, those are the things that they say. And it stems from all of those things because they were trying to put a Band-Aid on it with something else. Or if I do this, then I won't have to worry about this or think about these thoughts going through my head. Like literally, those are a lot of things that they talk about. And they go back to childhood of being like living in, filthy environments and having to see drugs come in and out the house, or the parents own drugs and having to be their caretaker, things like that. Even with the girls, that's some of the things that they talk about. Oh, I'm picked up for prostitution, but it's not really prostitution because you're a minor, but yet it's really trafficking because you're doing it for your parents. Like those are the things that our kids are really dealing with right now. And a lot of parents don't understand that you're putting your kids up to all this stuff. Like my son, he's in there he didn't have no business being in robbery at all. He had no reason to, and he know it. That was the crazy part about it. He didn't have a reason. Right. So you doing this, and it come to find out it was behind a little girl. Man. All because she said, you don't have no money.
Man.
Boo, he don't have no money to take care of you. He got money. Right. But you're not his responsibility. Right. So that turned into a whole nother thing. Because he was being coached by my nephew while he was doing this. And my nephew, literally, he just got out. So, and he didn't go for that. He went for something totally different. And he's out before him. Wow. So I'm like, this is what I tell you. He's never been a follower. Yeah. Ever. Yeah. And now all of a sudden you want to be the follower.
But you know what? And I say this all the time. Like, you can't compete who people lay next to at night. Lay next to at night. Yeah. And people be like, such and such, they weren't like that. Yeah, but when they got with this particular person, because you can't compete with it. I don't care what the family say. Yeah. Like
it bypasses all of that.
All that. Even with my nephew. You know what my nephew kept saying, Tasha? Thank God your son don't got no kids, right? Thank God he don't. Yeah. This is what my nephew kept saying. Ain't he? I gotta be there for my son. I mean, not my son, my daughter. I gotta be there for my daughter. And I kept saying, choo. It's deeper than what you think, baby. You can be there for your daughter without being with her. Being there, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because this girl is gonna cost you. Yeah. And I promise you, she cost him.
Yeah. And I see that a lot. They stay in these relationships because I want to be there for my kids. Yeah. You can still be there for your kids. Man. But you need to get out of that toxic relationship. You need to go, you can do it from over here. Yes. You can do it through child support. You can do it through the parents. Yeah. You can do it through somebody else. Yes. You can do it. Man. Let your child grow up. If you have to miss some years, just know when they get older, they're going to come looking for you. Yes. And then you can explain. Yes. But until then, you got to get out. And you got to do it for yourself. Like, you got to love you more than you love the other person. And it's sad to say that, but you have to. Right. Because they're not going to care. Like, right now, my son's incarcerated. This girl's living her life. And every time we calling her on the phone, where you at? Who you with? I told him one day, I say, it don't even matter who she with. How you gonna know? I know. No, you won't. No, you won't. You in there. You can't. Right. You in there with people telling you what time to go to bed, take a shower. No, you won't.
Tasha, my nephew, the man who my nephew in jail behind with the baby mama, she just had a baby with him right now.
See what I'm saying?
You know?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you locked up.
Right.
Yeah, you locked up having to do time, having to have somebody literally tell you what to do while she's out here living her best life.
Man, this is a conversation. Yeah. And it's a conversation that needs to be had not only just amongst like individual groups, but a collective of groups, right? And women and men need to sit down and have these kind of conversations together. And man, like my heart bleeds.
Because the cycle just continues. Yeah, it just continues. It does. Until somebody have to literally start speaking up on this stuff and letting it be known, like, this is not okay. This is unhealthy.
Right.
And you're not doing nothing but hurting yourself.
Right. So Tasha, I would like for you to talk to a mother that's dealing with her son right now, that's going through, he's trying to figure himself out. But while he's trying to figure that out, he's starting to be abusive towards her verbally or whatever, or just being angry or just acting out. Like, what kind of advice can you give her, or what faith walk or whatever?
Set boundaries.
Okay.
Boundaries is going to be your best friend. And it hurts.
Okay.
It hurts because this is your child.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, like, he's there. He can't go nowhere. And you still got to live. Like, you cannot carry that heaviness with you trying to be, like, for me, I'm in church. I'm doing all these XY things. So if you're doing and trying to live your life, go to work, let him be. When he get his mind right and call you, then y'all can talk. And if y'all can't do that, then y'all don't need to talk while he there. Write him a letter.
I'm talking about the sons that's not incarcerated.
The sons that's not incarcerated,
Yeah.
Start having those hard talks. Start having those talks to get them to understand, like, hey, I'm just asking these things because I care. I love you, and I don't want to see anything happen to you. I don't want to see you have, for you to hurt somebody. Because if we don't deal with the anger issues, or if we don't know our identity, per se, I'm talking about the boys, if they don't know this stuff, it's going to be toxic. It's going to be hard for them to grow up and be a man because they're dealing with and carrying all that weight. How are you going to be able to live a successful life like that? It's not good.
Right.
So for the parent, for the mom that's dealing with that, have those talks. Have those hard talks. Be honest. Be transparent. Don't be afraid to share your story, because sometimes they need to know, hey, mama had to go through all this stuff too. But at the end of the day, like, I had to know I had to make a difference, and I had to change what I was doing if I didn't want to continue that path.
Right.
And that's going to be for any parent out there, whether you feel like you're on top of the world and doing the best, or you feel like, hey, I'm just trying to make it. You got to have those talks. Because if they don't understand what you've been through, how can they know how to handle what they're going through?
Right. So we segue from your son, and then we talked about your friend, the guy you was dating or whatever. And so for the woman like myself and other women, that's practicing abstinence and trying to be obedient to God or whatever, like, knowing that you broke the covenant, you repent, God done forgiven you. Like, what advice can you give us when it comes to, getting back out on the dating scene, and like what to do to just hold ourselves pure under God?
I would say not to give in so quickly.
Okay.
Definitely listen to wisdom. I've been reading in Proverbs lately, and it's speaking about all the wisdom, that lady wisdom and lady folly. So dealing with those two people, you're dealing with, and you're listening to what's right, and you listen to what's wrong. And if you gotta listen to that small still voice, and listen to God say, he'll tell you if it's the right one.
Right.
And you'll know if it's the wrong one. Watch those actions. Start to look at the things that they're doing, not just in front of you, when they're away from you, because that's going to determine what they're going to continue. So pay attention to those things. Don't be so quickly to say, hey, yeah, okay, he likes me. Okay, we spending time together. Okay, no, don't do those things. Make sure you wait. Just give it some time. Because if he's really the one, he'll wait till you're ready.
Yeah. Amen. So the last time Tosha was on the show, I let y'all know that she was an author, and I dropped her link in the bio. Can you tell them?
Yeah, because I sure forgot my books.
Yeah.
But yes, I am an author. I have actually 16 books out. But my series is Shade No More Pain. It talks about all the different abuses. There's other women and young girls that are in those books that talk about their stories, their transparent stories. And we just show y'all how we made it out. And being able to overcome all that trauma, all the things that we've been through. And when I say we leave no abuse unaddressed. We leave no abuse unaddressed.
Oh, wow.
All of them are talked about in there. And that's the series for Shade No More Pain. And then the other ones, it's different ones when it comes to the fruits of the spirit. And then I have one that is a teen book, Turbulence of Self-Esteem for a Young Lady's Journey. And it's teenagers that have written their stories to show other girls, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too.
That's good. So Tosha, also tell the people about you got added to more schools to go in and talk to the teens.
I have. Yes. I just got partnered with Pilgrim Academy HISD. I'm in there with the 6th graders right now, and we have our sessions weekly. But this is to be able to give them a different aspect on not just the things that they're dealing with at school, but what happens at home. You know, their identity, being able to look at themselves and recognize their own self-esteem and self-worth, right? So now I'm doing that, and then I'm at Pearland, Robert Turner in Pearland. I'm at the high school mentoring the high schoolers as well. So yeah.
So Tosha is giving back, and she's trying to make sure that our children don't get stuck in a pattern.
Yes.
You know, because one thing about it, the pattern can be broken. Absolutely. It just got to get caught early. Yes. Right? It just have to.
And don't be afraid to talk to them at a young age.
Right.
Because a lot of parents, they feel like, oh, she's too young or he's too young. They, 5 or 6 years old. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Because if they know about good and bad touch, they will know when somebody is doing something that they're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So those talks got to be had early, even with play fighting at that age. Yeah. I was play fighting in school. That's why the abuse looked at normal to me.
Right.
And I didn't think nothing of it because I played with the boys all the time.
Right.
So play fighting, and you got to pay attention to that, because why are they comfortable enough with hitting a female?
Right. That's so true. That's so true. And honestly, guys, I really want you to go back and watch episode 10, right? Watch episode 10 and rewatch this one, right? Because I know for a fact, like, what God done in Tasha's life, and you guys listening to it, and even let your kids listen to it, right?
Absolutely.
It definitely can turn things around. And like for the mothers that's dealing with things with their son, like, it's not by accident that even like today, I seen that with my own eyes of that baby up there crying after giving his life to God, but it was still like something, a void, like something deep down in it. So you just feel it, like the posture was like this, right? Tears running down his face, and he just
hurt.
Yeah. And I said, Lord, it's something deeper, and I just pray that this episode bless you guys. I pray any mother that's dealing with anything with her boy child, like, just go to him, hug him, love him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may not talk now, but they will eventually talk. Like,
absolutely.
I'm not a parent, right? But I just know, like, don't start condemning them and beating them down. Start pouring love into them, right? Even if it's just, if you got multiple kids, find time to like have the one-on-one time with that particular kid, and it's not because you're a bad parent, but some kids need a little bit more attention than other kids.
Absolutely. They're different.
Yes.
They're different, and they deal with different emotions differently.
Yes.
So you gotta spend time with each one of them to get to understand who they are.
Yes.
Don't think that, just because this person does this, this one gonna do it too. That's not true. You really gotta tap into who they are as their own individuals.
Yes.
And, we say it all the time, speak affirmations to our girls, but speak them to your boys too.
Man.
Tell them how important they are, how valued they are. Because when you start to do that, you build up their confidence, and it allows them to see, like, man, okay, I am somebody.
Right.
Right.
And even with us having this conversation, I know that he speaks gotta move forward.
Yeah.
I know it do. Like, God gonna send me the right team.
Absolutely.
But it gotta move forward because, man,
it's coming.
Because I just know it's just something about boys. Even when I was young, I always was with the boys.
Yeah.
Even as a business owner, I employ men. Like, I just know, like, the hierarchy of God has changed so much. Like, God want us to, be successful in our own right? But God intended for that to be the man.
Yeah.
We supposed to do it too. We supposed to work in the vineyard as well. But if we could just get the men on track, first start with the boys and get the men on track, man, I'm telling you, life will be so different for everybody.
If the men start speaking more life into the young boys, they will get it better because it's coming from a man.
Right.
But don't get me wrong, because women do it too. Like I say, I go into the juveniles and I talk to the young boys.
Right.
So when I'm talking to them, but I only talking to them about the healthy and unhealthy relationships.
Right.
So hearing it from a woman's point of view, it makes them say, wow, like, I never looked at it like that. But to hear it from a man and to understand it's not okay, it hits different.
Hit different, yeah. So, Tasha, I still want the audience to know. I want to make sure I'm right. April, right?
Yes.
You're gonna get your honorary doctorate,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So yeah, she's gonna be Dr. Dearbone.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that for you as well. I didn't forget.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you to attach that to your name. You know, and one thing about God, He's gonna give you everything that your heart desire, right?
Amen.
And even the things your heart don't desire. Because I'm sure you wasn't even looking for that.
I was not.
And that just felt in your
very
lap,
unexpected.
right? But you put in the work, and you put in the work in the community. She also has a day in Houston as well.
I do. It's called Walk On It, where we get out there and we walk on the different hindrances that try to held us up, right?
Yeah.
All those things that we thought we couldn't overcome.
Right.
God said, nah, it's still more. You can walk over this. So it's a 3K walk that we have in May.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's coming.
Okay, it's coming. It's coming. And she gonna remind me that it's coming, right? But I just want to give her flowers right now. Like, I'm so grateful to God for the connection. Like I tell people, we don't always stay in a spot that He places us in, but the spot he does place us in, He give us alignment, right?
Yes,
and
Lord.
It's not by accident that He aligned me with Tasha. It's not by accident that we have the hot posture to help young teens and young kids to, overcome certain things. So I know like the best is yet to come. I'm sure in the future we'll be doing some type of team up work with kids and mentorships and different things like that. Like I say, my focus is more boys. Man, I know God gonna send me the right people to help me get that going or whatever. But I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in on another episode of Speak Unspoken. Like I say, where the silence is loud, because it's really loud, y'all.
Yes.
People are screaming. And I say this all the time. They screaming and we're not even paying attention. We just going by the day as a normal day, right? So I just want you guys to continue to support this platform. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, right? If you have daughters that you want to get your daughters into a mentorship program, I will have everything that Tosha Dearbone have going on. She does some amazing things in this city, and she is a woman that she's been through enough to be able to help your child not to go through it.
Amen.
Right? So I just want to say thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for your yes again.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure she'll be back again, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Because she do, y'all, this lady do a lot. She do a lot. Like, she even got me doing a lot at this point, trying to do a lot. I was slow moving, but we getting it together.
Absolutely.
Yes. So until next time, speak unspoken.
Thank you.